Okay, so here's our first introductory slide showing you then who will be speaking to you first today. And just to highlight, the core purpose of our institution is to transform lives both locally and globally through the creation, sharing and application of knowledge. This slide is just for social media experts among us. Please do share the fact that we are together today at this event. This slide also highlights this stunning photograph from a monument, the Law Monument in Dundee City, and it gives you a perspective showing that the city sits on the edge of the beautiful River Tay. So Dundee is, of course, a city within the country of Scotland, which was recently heralded as, in fact, the most beautiful country in the world. And that, I think, is beautifully exemplified by this image here, showing you the gorgeous loch nestled within these hills. So Dundee as a city has also been heralded as Scotland's very best place to live. And again, a beautiful view here across the River Tay looking towards the city. It's also dubbed as a city of discovery, and here are just some of the fantastic discoveries that Dundee has given the world, and that includes, of course, flat screen technology, the chemistry behind aspirin, Grand Theft Auto, very popular amongst some of the audience, I'm sure, today. Sorry, excuse me. And if we switch now to think about why Dundee might be a destination you want to consider to come and study for your undergraduate degree, here are some of the recent rankings that we're very proud to have received. We sit as one of the top 20 universities throughout the UK in the very recent Guardian University Guide 2021. We're one of the world's top 250 universities and top 50 for the impact of our university research and teaching. We're number 1 in Scotland and number 4 in UK for graduates entering professional occupations. And from a student perspective, which we'll be hearing more about from Rosie, we're number 1 in Scotland and number 4 in the UK for overall average satisfaction. But focusing specifically now on the School of Life Sciences, I'd like to highlight some of our own rankings. So every few years, the government undertakes an evaluation exercise looking at the research impact across all the institutions in the UK, across all disciplines. And for biological sciences, Dundee is number 1 in the whole of the UK for research in this topic, so above Oxford and above Cambridge. We're 8th in the world and again top in the UK for publications in this discipline, and we're number 1 in UK and 26th in the world for the impact of our research. Here's just one example of a recent discovery that was made in one of our 10 research divisions, and that's our drug discovery unit. And this was the discovery of a new anti-malarial therapy that's now in clinical trials. For our teaching, we're also very proud of the fact that we are number 3 in the UK for life sciences teaching, and again that's just behind Oxford and Cambridge. We're top in the UK for student satisfaction in some of our degree routes, including pharmacology and biology, and we've got 83% of our graduates that are in graduate level employment within 6 months of graduating. And what I just hope to convince you of today is that as an institution and indeed as a school, we pride ourselves on the commitment to making sure that our students have the very best experience and fantastic student support while they're with us. We also offer a truly research-led degree, and we'll be hearing more about that from Dr. Brewer in just a minute. So our courses are designed to equip you specifically with the skills that employers are looking for. Those courses reflect current research themes that are being conducted by those world-class researchers, and those researchers are indeed the people that you will be learning from in your later years, years 3 and 4 of the 4-year degree. You'll also be taught in labs and facilities that are equipped with state-of-the-art technology and equipment. So just before I pass over then to Dr. Brewer, this slide highlights all of the degree routes that you can apply to come and study with us in life sciences. Our degrees are split into either a biological stream or a biomedical stream, and every single one of those degrees is accredited by the Royal Society of Biology. We have one brand new programme down here that's a joint programme with the National University of Singapore, and I'll come on to that a little later. I'm just going to hand over now to Dr. Brewer, our Associate Dean, Learning and Teaching.
Thanks, Kim. Good morning, everybody. I hope you can hear me okay. What we've got on this slide here is the course structure, the way we operate at the University of Dundee. So the first 2 years really about acquiring core skills. It's really about getting students to get in the lab as soon as possible, working on little mini research projects, building up their confidence in the labs, so the labs become a commonplace. Year 3 and year 4, that's when things get much more interesting, in the sense that we challenge the students, we up the skills, and then of course you get the capstone project in year 4 as well, and then later on some specialist modules. Year 5, we've got something called integrated masters. Now that's not for all students, it's for a small set of students who may be interested in a research career and going on to a PhD. I'll talk a little bit about that in a few minutes. If we could go to the next slide, Kim. So 7 or 8 years ago, we looked at the curriculum and we decided to literally rip it up and start again. And we talked to the correct stakeholders, which at the time were current students, employers, we talked to schools, we talked to colleges. We wanted to understand, we wanted to make sure that we're going to build something that was fit for purpose and give our graduates the best chance out there getting good employment. And the first 2 years are really special at Dundee because it does not matter whether you come in on a biological or a biomedical pathway. All students take the same core modules. You're in the labs, doing the same lab work, and you're doing the same theory modules as well. So you could come in, as I say, to do biomedical sciences or neuroscience or pharmacology or biochemistry or microbiology or biological chemistry and drug discovery, but you all do the same modules. And that means you get experience about different areas. Maybe you may come in to do pharmacology, but actually you may end up really liking biochemistry. The point is, at the end of the second year, you could, if you wish, change your degree pathway. Now, when I was a student, I did chemistry at Leeds, and that's all I wanted to do. So when I got to the end of first year, if I changed my mind and wanted to do, say, biochemistry, I would have had to start again. And it's not like that here in Dundee. The point about this core curriculum, as I said, you come in, be it biological or biomedical, you all do the same modules, and at the end of year 2, if you want to stay on your degree pathway you come in, that's absolutely fine. Or if you wish, you could then change pathway as well. And what's really good about what we do is we get students in the lab straight away, and we start working on little mini projects, experimental design, right from week 1. In many universities, what happens is the research project happens right at the end of the degree, and that does happen here as well. But we build up that research skills literally from day 1. Go on to the next slide, please, Kim. Now, once the first 2 years have passed that core curriculum, that's when you begin to specialise. And at that point, it could be biochemistry or pharmacology or biological chemistry and drug discovery. And at that point, we start to build up your knowledge in these areas. And there's still practical work as well that can be done. And once that's happened, then you're ready for year 4, because year 4, of course, is when the magic happens with the capstone project. If you could just go on to the next slide, please, Kim. As you can see, here we go for biological sciences. We'll have a look at biomedical sciences as well. As you can see, the real focus of the biological sciences on molecular structure interactions, genetic systems, gene regulation, expression, how drugs work. And as you can see, there are a variety of pathways within the biological sciences umbrella. On to the next slide, please, Kim. Same is true for biomedical sciences. Again, that does focus on the structure and the function of the human body. And again, a bit of physiology from the molecular level to the whole organism, and of also their various pathways as well under the umbrella of biomedical sciences. On to the next slide, please, Kim. Now, at level 3, we've challenged you. You've got your specialism under control, biochemistry or neuroscience or pharmacology. And at level 4, that's when the real magic happens, the capstone project. And the way we do things at the University of Dundee, the entire first semester is dedicated to that capstone project. You do an 11-week project, and you will be in a world-class lab with a world-class research group, and just doing some real fantastic experiments, some really fantastic research. I mean, that's why it's really important we get these core skills early on at levels 1, 2 and 3 to build your confidence in the labs, so you have a wonderful capstone experience. And of course, we complement the capstones project experience with some seminars given by guest speakers, and of course there's some assessment to do along the way as well. And in semester 2, okay, the capstone project is done. At that point, you get some world-class modules, and you'll be taught material that, frankly, you won't be finding in the textbooks. There'll be textbooks going forward. And again, that's really what that second semester is all about. Hopefully everything goes well and you graduate in the summer with a good degree. On to the next slide, please, Kim. But for some students, they may want to continue their journey as an undergraduate. And we're looking about 10% of the cohort, that's approximately 20 students who may wish to take an integrated master's. This is still an undergraduate degree. It's not a postgraduate degree. It's still an undergraduate degree. And the key thing is you do effectively an extended research project. It really is aimed for those students who really want a research career to go and do a PhD and so on. And as I said, it's an undergraduate degree. The key thing is that extra research project, and again, it is competitive though. You need to be upfront about this. You need to be scoring approximately around 60%, and there'll be interviews along the way. But I said it's about 20 students, about roughly 10% of the cohort. And the key thing really about the capstone project and the level 4 project as well, it's all about that project. And Kim has got experience of taking on honours students and MSci students as well. So maybe Kim, you could tell everybody about your experiences.
Yeah, thank you, Nick. Yeah, so that's right. In my lab, we take in sort of 1 or 2 honours students each year. And actually, I'm actually delighted today that Rosie Gallagher, who will be our speaker after Dr. Mario Stavridis, Rosie's chosen to come and do her honours project in my lab this year, so she'll be starting in the next week or 2. And so what happens during that time is that we pair up one of the honours students coming into the lab with either a PhD student or a postdoc, and then together we design an experimental project, and it's then the duty of the student to sort of conduct the experiments that are going to address that research question, gather the data, analyse it, interpret it, make some conclusions, and then write that project up as a little sort of mini thesis. They also get this fantastic opportunity to present that data and their findings at a little mini science symposium in a poster format. And all of the academics and the researchers are invited to come and participate in that event. And it's a really fantastic culmination to the end of the research project experience. So I'm sure that Rosie would be delighted to sort of field any questions any of you might have on that topic. I'm just going to quickly now talk to you about a brand new programme that's been very recently launched in the School of Life Sciences, and this is quite unique. So during this programme, applicants would come and they would actually spend the first 5 semesters, so the first 2.5 years at Dundee in our school, but they would then transfer to our partner institution, the National University of Singapore, for the last 3 semesters. And the reason why this is quite an exciting programme is that National University of Singapore, or NUS, is ranked number 11 in the world. It's an absolutely phenomenal institution. So this would provide an opportunity for students to sort of really work in 2 world-class institutions in life sciences. And you would then graduate with a joint award, so 1 certificate with the crest of both institutions. As I say, a very new degree, and we have one of the students on that course that's with us today. So if anybody does want to ask questions about that, please do post them in the Q&A chat. So switching on to perhaps other opportunities that are available to you at Dundee. So there is an opportunity to take a year out during your undergraduate studies, take a year in industry. Equally, you might want to do a summer placement. So in the summer between years 2 and 3 or between years 3 and 4, you can apply to do a summer project in one of those world-class research labs. So it's sort of like a 10-week project. It doesn't bear any credits, but it does give you the opportunity to try out some lab skills and perhaps consider whether that might be a lab you go and do your research project in later years. Nick's already spoken to us about the MSci options. There's also, of course, in normal circumstances, an opportunity to take a semester or indeed a whole year and to go and study in one of our partner institutions, either in Europe or further afield. And this is just some of those partner institutions where you could consider doing that. Of course, currently, with the pandemic, this is something that we are under review at the moment, and so we're hoping this is still going to be an option for at least one of the semesters in future years. But it's something that I'm very strong protagonist for and would really encourage students to think about if the opportunity is there. So, of course, a very important question is, what do students get to go on and do for sort of jobs once they graduate from us? And the answer really is almost anything and everything. And the reason that we say that is that what we do while you're with us is endow you with a skill set that's really transferable. So that includes being, you know, a troubleshooter, a problem solver, working as part of a team, but also the ability to work independently, work to deadlines, etc. And so to give you some examples of what students have gone on to do, this is graduate destination data from our graduates of 2019. And so we only got 30 responses back from those students that I reached out to. But this tells you that across those different degree routes, and then this is the overall response, we see that some of our students go on to do a master's, whether that's in Dundee or elsewhere. Some go on to do a PhD, again in Dundee or elsewhere. Some apply to medicine. Some go overseas and some go directly into employment, but some fantastic destinations. And this slide just gives you some of those specific details about what those students go on to do. And as you can see, some of that involves going on and staying in academia and in research, going on to do a PhD, for example, but other students go on, for example, and do a science-related job, such as medical science writer, perhaps a publishing assistant at Nature, something like that. And again, that's because what we endow our students with is this fantastic set of core transferable skills. So what we want to do then, our goal is to really give you the very best possible preparation for a career in biosciences or related jobs. So we're giving you a strong emphasis on becoming proficient problem solvers that can thrive, in fact, in any organisations. I want to highlight that we have been heralded as one of the safest places to study in the UK, and we really are committed to making sure that we do absolutely everything to ensure that there is a safe environment for both our staff and our students. And so some of the things that we're doing to ensure that is to provide safe accommodation, single occupancy accommodation with ensuite residences, providing a blended mixture of both online and face-to-face teaching, and increasing that level of face-to-face teaching as far as we possibly can while remaining safe. So that just really ends my presentation and that of Dr. Brewer's, and we really do look forward to seeing you next September. And I'm just going to finish with this slide, which gives you the entry requirements to come into our different degree routes. And this is also giving you a link here to a video that shows you the life sciences facilities, because unfortunately, obviously, because it's an online event, we're not able to show you that in person. But if you go to this YouTube link, there's a fantastic video showing you those facilities. Okay, thank you very much. And that's the end of my presentation.